Jacksin Lone, Chapter 1. The Wanderer is Born. It all started with a cool narrator voice, like this. World needs badasses. Born to James the Doctor and his dead birth mother in Vault 101. Being a nerdy, awkward doctor's son, Jacksin only had one friend, Outta, the overseer's daughter. Jacksin was picked on by the popular kids, in particular a gang called the Tunnel Snakes. The boy was scrawny. He didn't know how to defend himself. One day, the other kids chased him into a storage room, trying to beat him and take his Grognak comic. It was there in that locker he found a holotape. There was a label on it that said N.W.A. It changed his life forever. Nobody knows where that tape came from, but when the boy listened to it, the words were truth and power. He was going to be like those with attitude. He wrapped his comic around a lead pipe and screamed his war cry. The tape also came with a map, noting locations of similar tapes. The other tapes were by people called S.O.B., Eminem, Tyler. Jacksin needed to hear more. Chapter 2. The Goat. Jacksin Lone swaggered in and wrote, "The Overseer sucks." Then he left. Everyone already knew that Jacksin was top of the class, besides Outta. The real difference was that he would always say he was going to leave the vault one day. Right outside the classroom, those Tunnel Snake kids were giving Outta hell, so in comes our hero, Jacksin Lone. High on testosterone, nothing to prove to the world, doing stupid, weak. Jacksin beat the out of all four of them at once. Jacksin lost himself in the fight. He was a rager. He was just 16 and the adults already feared him. The only thing keeping Jacksin from painting the walls with their blood was Outta. And so they scattered. One day, dear old Dad finally found the foul mixtape. He hid it in his safe. Jacksin wasn't happy about that. He broke into the safe and smashed his dad's favorite bobblehead. And then, as punishment, Jacksin had to go to the Vault 101 school dance. It was a setup, Jacksin realized. Only he realized it too late. He should have seen it coming. But now here he was, dressed in a cheap suit, walking up to meet Outta. He approached her door. It opened. She looked nice, or whatever. They walked together to the dance. He told her they should go somewhere else, anywhere else. She wasn't having any of that. Outside the dance hall, the Tunnel Snakes, smoking, wasted, switchblades ready to slice anyone trying to mess with them. Outta had to say something. It was her duty as daughter of the Overseer. Jacksin didn't like how they talked back, so he handed each of them a knuckle sandwich. They cut up his tux a little. Damn thing was stiff, couldn't move fast enough. And now a new scar adorned his face. Outta. He always had to bail her out. He wished she could learn to either ignore those guys or kill him, but instead she talks. And so they fought, with more words. He hit her, not very hard, but he did. Otta was shocked. She just stood there, looking at him like he wasn't any better than those other holes. She ran. No one knew, but her father beat her sometimes, but never the face. It felt red, hot, burning. She ran away, into the dance hall, into the lights, into the bodies. He up. He always talked about leaving, and no one ever really cared, except for her. And she was going to be the only person he'd ever miss. He'd be 18 soon. He'd be out of this mess soon. But tonight he was just a kid, and he couldn't leave his best girl. Not when she owed him a dance. Or whatever those corny superheroes say. He was going in. Then he noticed something. One of the tunnel snakes had dropped something other than blood. A holotape labeled The Creator. He gave it a quick listen. It was something powerful. He went in. The party wasn't over, and he was willing to give this one more chance. Jacksin stumbled in and turned his Pip-Boy up, drowning out the other music. He was only there for one person. Otta's makeup smeared across her face. Hair was loose, messy, eyes getting red. He came up to her slow, and he gave the crowd one hard glare. They backed up and silently agreed to never speak of this. For a night, they were immortal, lost in the lights, lost in forever. But how long is forever? He walked her home, to the overseer quarter. He couldn't wait. Forever was too long. He just wanted today. Tomorrow. They embraced in a wet, tender, and wondrous union. They pulled apart for 1 second, and that was it. The rest I leave to your imagination. Chapter 4. Leaving. Jacksin Lone, age 19, hated school. Good at repairing machines, and people even. Not a bad shot, and damn strong. On paper, he was everything the vault needed. Then he would speak and disagree and hate the overseer for never letting anyone leave the vault. Born here, but he wouldn't die here. Never. All his life he'd wondered what was beyond the vault. If it really was as bad as they all said, he swore he'd take the fight to the wastelands and reclaim it for humanity. He heard the stats from his father. They would slowly die off if they didn't get out of there. The wasteland was the only option. He was planning on leaving, dreaming of it even. In the morning, he was going to grab what supplies he could. He'd probably have to fight some guards, and then he'd scout out to the wastelands, set up a camp, find people. He awoke sooner than he thought he would. Outta was hysterical. Father had left the vault. There'd been some sort of revolt. It was a goddamned bloodbath. She ran, saying something about a lockdown and the overseer's office. Jacksin told her to stay. He had to chase after her. James, the father of Jacksin Lone, had left Vault 101 that day. The overseer was angry. Jacksin was armed with a baseball bat and rage. He raced through the vault, infested with radroaches, tunnel snakes, vault guards, and screaming people. He beat down everything in his path. He took what he could. He made his way to the overseer for some answers and a way out of the vault. By the time our boy made it to the office, Amata is being interrogated. They need to know where Jacksin is. And Jacksin saw red. In a minute, everyone except Amata and Jacksin wore bloody smears on the walls and floor. Amata was shocked, horrified, and she had no words for him. She simply watched as her hero left the vault. As the lone wanderer made his solemn exit, Amata tried to speak. It was not her wish to part with her best friend. Her words were a mess, drowned out by her tears. The only thoughts she dared to think were, "Good luck, lone wanderer. Good luck, but do not ever look back."